London Music Festival 73. Black Sabbath.
Oh right, okay. Right.
So I've got quite a lot of stuff like that, but whether it's going to be of any use to you, I don't.
Yeah, no, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking forward to.
Is it? Oh well, in that case, you better tell your mate to pick up tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so that is full page Enemy at Melody advert for. I was reading about this gig the other night actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything with Sabbath on or we became quite good friends.
Did you go to this gig?
I don't recall it now.
Right, okay. Because that would have been, you know, if you've got something
To tie it in, yeah.
to tie it in,
but
then that's, you know, that's
basically the reason I kept those was simply because I was trying to sell a band that had Sabbath connections. So a bit naughty, but when trying to sell Necromandus, I used Sabbath quite a lot in the advertising.
Well, that's why I managed a second band as well when the first band started getting successful, because I thought, you know, this will
rub off. But all I got was a lot of people saying, "Well, we're quite interested in Necromandus, but I need to get Sabbath." Just one of those things. But okay, as you've probably noticed over there, we have a poster. Which is about the largest piece of ephemera I've got. It's difficult to see from this distance, but it is fully signed.
Is that A1 or A0?
Good question.
I think that's A0.
I think
It's
you might be
probably
right,
is,
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to divide it down into A3s.
Do we have a tape measure at all?
No? Tape measure?
Sorry?
Tape measure?
A tape measure.
It's good, because when we sit down with the exhibition designers, I don't want to say there's a poster. I want to say there's a poster that's this size, you know, and it's full colour and stuff. So. And I know that image because that's on my. I've got a deluxe reissue of the Paranoid album vinyl, and that's on the it's on one of the inner sleeves. So I've got my note of that.
I haven't got a pull-out one, but I've got.
Okay, that's great.
Do it roughly.
Do you know when that was signed? You know, what's the history of that being signed?
Strange though it may seem, I've got very, very few signatures, especially from people that I know.
You don't think, do you?
No. And to be honest, when you're mates with people, the last thing you think of is asking them for autographs. But I got that poster, and I remember just saying to go on, sign this for me, lads. So I'll be able to sign it on eBay in future years.
This was 30 years before we advertised
eBay. Absolutely. But it was really just, because I hadn't actually got a set of signatures. So they were very good. I think Tony's dedicated it to me as well, which is nice. Even though there was a spelling mistake on it, but he's from Aston, what do you expect? But it is quite a nice set of signatures. It just doesn't show up very well. So.
Yeah.
I think it was before the silver pens as well. The Sabbath 4 picture frame, awkwardly, is in the next room.
Okay, shall we go to and have a look at that? I'll take this with me.
This is roughly.
Okay, yeah, roughly's fine. Aha, yes.
Yeah, it's just a standard best wishes Tony Iommi on it.
And is that a Vertigo issue?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know if it's got the inner booklet taken at, because the photos on the inner were taken at Birmingham Town Hall?
I don't know.
I would imagine. I bet it has.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume that it has.
I would have to check. It's floating around somewhere.
Right.
Obviously the record isn't in there.
Right.
It is floating around somewhere. But if you could remind me later on, I'll dig it out and have a look.
Yep. Okay. And then below that we've got.
Oh yeah, that was that was interesting.
Thanks.
That was actually a souvenir that David Hemmings, I believe, had done for them from Worldwide. After they played Hollywood Bowl, obviously. And he had a few of those done and presented them to the band and to anybody else that was around, probably. But it's quite a nice one. I always kept that. It's obviously a small. It's a reproduction.
It is a reproduction.
It's a reduced reproduction of the original concert poster. Yeah. I shouldn't think there's too many people got those.
It's A4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Approximately,
yes.
yeah. Okay, I would have said that would be, well, I don't know what year really.
It's
73, I'd say.
Maybe even a little later. No, maybe.
Early 70s, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have it because there's some fantastic resources on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be able to go to the gig list, find out when the Hollywood Bowl gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, they were sort of out of my jurisdiction. I went across the state. Don't know if there's. You think that's one of the gigs that you'd had to go to the Birmingham Town Hall for?
Is that a Birmingham Town Hall poster?
Yeah. Doesn't mention it on there though. You're going to be disappointed. But that was
because of course that's
that was the touring.
Yeah, the package
Yeah.
poster. Yeah, that's fascinating though.
Yeah, I went to. I think they did 3 or 4 of the folk blues tours there.
So that's
the only one I got a poster for.
So that's the American Folk Blues Festival 1965 package tour poster featuring John Lee Hooker, Roosevelt Sykes, Buddy Guy, Lonesome Jimmy Lee, Freddie Below, Mississippi Fred, Dr. Ross, Big Mama Thornton, amongst others. And that was, where did you obtain that?
From the Town Hall. I either stole it, begged it, or bought it. I can't remember which.
Any particular memories of the evening?
Oh, yeah, great nights. I mean, to see those guys. Okay, I was only 19. But to see those guys on stage was just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And really, I mean, I was a blues convert before then, but that really did it for me.
Was it sort of, because I can imagine there's things like this happen in Birmingham now, and it's like all the faces are there, everybody on the scene is there. Was it that kind of thing? Were you, I mean...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Especially the later ones, obviously. In the early days, I wouldn't know really many of the local musicians at all. But the nice thing about Birmingham Town Hall in those days, not so much for the concerts, but certainly for the all-nighters, was that you could ramble around the place. All those cavernous side areas, you could just sort of roam around, and it was an amazing place for an all-nighter because you were sleeping on the orchestra steps behind the stage, and you just there you would see all sorts of bands turning up after a gig. People like Spencer Davis, if they were playing anywhere really within sort of 50 miles, they'd turn up and sit in. They were good days.
Yeah, it's a great graphic as well. Yeah,
Nice,
it's really good.
No, it's just getting a little bit brown now, but in my wisdom, I pasted it to a board, and it's stayed there.
Yeah. Well, it's 45 years old.
Yep. Thank you for that. Jack Dupree, you wouldn't be interested in particularly. I don't think there's anything else in here. Mainly football. Right, where else can I take you on? You might have to just put up with the printer for a
That's
second.
not a problem. If there's anything in particular that is worth going back over, as I say, this is just for reference at the moment. What I'm taking now.
Go.
Sorry. Oh, thank you.
Thanks. My day job.
What about the material that's on your website?
Yes, I mean there's a fair amount of stuff there. Most of it is
Have
actually.
you kept one? Excuse me. Sorry. Have you kept one? Or?
Yes, thank you. I have got most of the things put in some sort of...
Lovely. Oh, this is fantastic.
but not all of it is going to relate to what you need. In fact, that's Town Hall. It's fairly recent, though, judging by the ticket. £9, definitely.
Yeah.
As I say, these are not going to mean anything to you. A couple of very early Judas Priest stickers.
Right, I'm going to take a photo of those. And just while I'm doing that, can you describe what I'm taking a photo of and tell me the story behind it?
In the early Judas Priest days, as I said earlier, Dave Cork was the driving force behind it. These are two of Dave's efforts at posters, at stickers, beg your pardon. And they just survived for some reason. At one time those could be found on every bus shelter in Warsaw. I think I've got another set somewhere.
Obviously a proof set would be better.
No, I have got a full set of the stickers, I'm sure. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, superb. Oh, this is fantastic.
So, clear writing.
This is just for reference at the moment, really.
Sure.
You know, there are Judas Priest fans in Iowa who will never have known about these and who will go mental over seeing these.
Yeah, that's right. If you, as far as blowing Judas Priest fans away goes, when they did their first ever recording, Corky pulled up to me with that.
Okay, right. Can you tell me about this thing?
What you're looking at there.
Can you just get a because this will probably, I can say now, this will probably go on the website.
Okay.
So let's just
right. This is the original reel-to-reel tape, actually unplayed because I haven't got a reel-to-reel tape recorder, of the Judas Priest single "Run of the Mill" and "Whiskey Woman." This was recorded at Psalm Studios in London, and I think this is possibly the only remaining copy. Dave Cork brought it to me the day after it was recorded, and there it sat in a drawer ever since. Probably, I would think there aren't too many around.
Superb, absolutely, yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Whether it's playable now, I don't know.
I think what I'll do is take the one. I noticed you've got a copy of Record Collector down there, so I'm sure you know how much potential, how much interest there is in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Madonna cassette, Madonna demo cassette that came on the market recently that went for £6,000. And although, I know this isn't quite the same league as Madonna, it's nevertheless. Right, so Judas Priest stickers. That's basically a master, isn't it? Run of the mill.
Yes, I would think so. Well, copy of a master.
Yeah. Psalm Studios. Okay, thank you very much for that. Good luck.
I'm glad I thought to fix that out. It was buried in the drawer somewhere. Where are we? Oh
Just-
yes.
If you can continue going through your scrapbooks.
Yeah, most of these are just stickers and advertising material from bands that I worked with. So of very little interest to you. Buddy Rich is probably not within your compass either.
No, I mean we really are focusing just on those 5 bands. Tell me about Sundance.
Sundance were run by the guy who also ran Barbarella's nightclub. John, can't remember immediately his name. But Jim got a lot of work for them. They were quite a nice little band. I think I've got some more information on them a little bit later on. That's an official Big Bear sticker.
Right, okay, can you...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, why don't you... I've just got to...
Now I've been told, Jim told me that they were sued by Disney over this. Is this the logo or is it the Henry's logo?
I vaguely remember something about that, the trucking bear, but I wouldn't absolutely
Did
say.
you draw this as well?
No, not me, no. But it was before my drawing day.
Right.
Sorry, I won't be a second. And isn't a studio I went to. The only studio I went to with Sabbath was Morgan Studios.
Right.
In London.
How did you acquire that?
Goodness knows.
Right, okay.
Definitely, I mean, I knocked around with them sort of here and there, and I probably said to Tony, "Can I have that?"
Yeah.
Or Jim, maybe. To Jim's, that's Jim's writing. Actually, it's not Jim's writing, but it's from Big Bear.
Because those photos, I'll show you later actually. But I bought some props with me.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I felt I needed them.
In case you struggled.
Yeah.
This is my original little band, the
Levy set.
Yeah. That's the one with Jeremy Spencer in.
Okay. Right. Can I remove the...
Yeah, help yourself.
Okay. So what we've got here is Purple Promotions tickets for a Black Sabbath concert at Hatherton Hall, Freer Street, Walsall, which is called the Whiskey Villa Club, on Wednesday the 13th of May 1970. 10 shillings. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
I think we're back to Dave Cork. The Purple Promotions, I believe, was something to do with Dave Cork, and Walsall is definitely his stomping ground. So there's every possibility that he was involved in the promotion. We definitely booked the band out to him, but I think that's Tramp, but I think it was Dave's promotion from memory. There are one or two other tickets around that it wasn't just a one-off gig, it was a regular event.
Yeah. Were you there?
At that one,
tell me what it was like.
Yes, I think so. Yes, I think there's a little photograph somewhere, but it may well be in this one. And what can I tell you? I mean, they were amazing. I think they always seemed to be loud, even though at that stage they were probably only having sort of tiny little amplifiers. But as the stacks grew bigger, then I suppose they played bigger venues and they just seemed to be loud. But I remember them being particularly loud. I have actually got a cassette recording somewhere of them playing. I think it was at the Free Trade Hall in Manchester later in their career. And I made the recording actually inside my car, in the car park outside the Free Trade Hall. That's how loud they were. And that's why I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay. Can we turn that printer off? Is that possible? 'Cause, yeah. And also, before I take this photo, if I could have another sheet of white paper to put on here, that would just improve it a bit. Because I can, I keep saying I've got to manage expectations about what will and won't be included.
Yeah, I understand.
I know that this will be of interest.
Okay.
The chances of this not being used in some way either on the website or in the exhibition is quite slim, to be honest. This is especially two of them together.
I think there's more actually.
Okay.
There's more.
I'm just going to take one. It's a bit silly taking two.
Well, it proves that we didn't sell them all.
Right, and so this is Black Sabbath. And that's 3 inches, that's 2.5 inches by 5 inches, I'd say. Maybe a bit smaller.
4 maybe. You want me to knock the computer on the head as well?
It's mainly the printer, I think, that's making that word.
The printer's off now, so
Okay.
that it is. I've got the other computer on there. I think you'll notice a difference when that goes.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
There will still be one on in the background.
Try it without a flash as well. Okay, that's wonderful.
All this space, and we've got you in the various part of the house. Oh, there we go. I'll just knock this off a little bit.
Okay.
That should go off in a minute.
Okay. Shall I come round, if I can sort of place myself round here?
Whatever's best for you.
Okay.
Treat the place as your own.
Thanks, you've been very, very helpful. It's appreciated.
There you go.
Lovely. Now this photo I've never seen before. You know how you
Really?
can, you sort of familiarise yourself with the sets and photos.
I think it's Germany, I think.
Yeah, well it's got a copyright notice for Munich on the back.
Ah, there you go, yeah.
Have you got something I can measure that with as well?
What did she do? For an artwork studio, we're remarkably under-equipped. Won't be a second, she's just on the phone, obviously. The one remaining ruler and we've lost it.
I've got one in my pencil case.
I'm on
Actually.
work recipe, you know, look.
Oh yeah.
There's two big ones.
Okay,
Alright,
we'll get the smallest.
This is
Yes, that's Cheryl
Oh, right.
and Mike.
17.5
We'll do what we've got for tea because they're going to come and share it.
by 20.
Lovely.
I'm glad really because I'm hoping he spots the law needs doing.
Yeah, I was going to have a go at that. It's,
Jim was bringing over blues musicians,
Yeah.
and maybe this was having kind of seeping into what was
Yeah.
the people that were.
that's,
We know that Halford was going there, John Bonham was going there, Robert Plant was going there, and all the Sabbath were going there.
Yeah, the main reason I joined Jim was to eventually start bringing over American musicians.
Yeah.
We slipped up on the first couple we brought. The first one turned out to be Canadian and white, but with a name like King Biscuit Boy, we weren't able to know that. I didn't have anything to do with the Gary Davis tour, but Simon and Steve are two particular friends of mine, so I was able to get them to join in the gig.
That's 87 by probably 80. Yeah, 87 millimetres. And so number one, I'm going to take photos of these in sequence just for reference, really. But can you tell me who this first one is?
Yeah, that's the a photograph of Reverend Gary Davis, very famous blind American blues guitarist at Henry's. Again, you'll know the date better than I.
I don't know. I'm hoping that Jim's gig lists are still intact.
Yeah.
But we don't know yet. So that was number one.
Okay.
Number two.
Number two are a blues duo along the lines of Sonny Terry and Brown and McGee. They're called Prager and Rye. That's Simon Prager and Steve Rye. Simon
Prager.
Prager, Prager,
And Steve.
Steve Rye, Rye.
Yeah.
Simon is still around and gigging in London. Steve, unfortunately, is no longer with us due to the demon drink. He was the original harmonica player with the Groundhogs.
Right. And that's the same thing.
And that's
number
then
three
again,
is then
yes,
again. Yeah.
there may well be one or two of those. But I had a very, very close friendship with Steve. I've still got some of the letters that he sent.
Do you have any?
Sorry.
Do you have any particular memories of this gig? Now you're looking
Oh,
at the
certainly.
photos.
Yeah. I know that Gary was absolutely blown away by the two English guys, especially Steve on harmonica, and they did actually play with him. But they were equally knocked out by him. He was such an amazing guy. I'm afraid photography in those days wasn't exactly...
You can see the audience
Yes.
in this photo. No, I don't suppose you can tell me anything about any of these guys in the audience. I mean,
almost certainly not. The light's terrible in here, isn't it? No. No.
okay.
Afraid not.
You see, if I
there's
could-
a brick wallpaper there. If
Yeah.
That's any good.
Well, if I can show you, you know, this is just one of my scraps from the old Birmingham Mail, but I've got
Right.
these adverts. You see, that's an advert for the Metro Club.
Yeah.
I've got these adverts for Henry's.
Yeah.
So if we
Yeah.
put together
Yeah, it should
your
be able to-
words, these photos,
Yeah.
this piece of press clipping,
Yeah.
maybe something else,
Yeah, that should be.
that becomes a museum exhibit.
Yeah.
You know, rather than a random collection of stuff.
It's
Not, and still, again, I'm not promising that any of this will go into the museum, but
yes, and there in fact is Steve.
so this is picture number 4 shows Steve.
So Steve Rye, the ex-harmonica player with the Groundhogs, actually just jamming with the Reverend Gary Davis on stage
Yeah.
and in public, which was nice for everybody.
Let's get this flash back on, I think. That's better. That's much better. So number 4.
I might actually be able to date that for you. I just had a thought.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we caught a certain person in the background of these photos?
Me?
No, I mean, you know, a member of one of the bands which we're focusing on.
No, I know you'll find Jim on one or two of them. 1971, and it would be probably July.
July 71.
Probably. This is a letter from Steve on the 8th of August referring to that gig.
Yeah.
I thought I got something like that somewhere.
Now, was this because we know that Dave Cork started running Henry's after Henry's?
Yes.
So is this a Henry's?
No,
gig?
that's Henry's. That's,
Okay.
I'm pretty certain that's a bona fide Henry's gig. Well, 71. Have you? What dates are there for?
All I know for Henry's is open September 68.
Yeah. No, that would be a bona fide Henry's.
Okay. Right, so I'll take a photo of that in a minute. Just get another one of these. This is this looks like Steve and Gary.
Simply because although I know Simon and Steve well, there's no way I could have booked Gary Davis. I have no access or knowledge of booking Gary Davis.
Yeah. Okay, so that was picture number 5, and that's Gary.
The Reverend Gary and Simon Prager. Simon and Steve are both.
I'll take a photo.
I'm
of that
sorry,
as well.
yeah. Both respected blues musicians in their own right.
I think I'm going to get another one there. And so the letter that you also showed me here, dated the 8th of August 71, is in connection with the gig that I've just taken the photos of.
That's right. It's from Steve Rye, who was a very close personal friend of mine.
Yeah.
And referring to playing with Gary at both Birmingham and Cambridge,
Yeah.
and asking if my photographs had been developed yet, because he'd got his.
Right. Letter concerning the above gig from Steve Rye, and that is approximately 22.5 by 17.5 centimetres.
You're doing it in foreign stuff, aren't you? I can't cope with that.
That's,
It's about 8 by 6.
right, thank you very much.
There might be one or two other things in that folder actually. That's worth. Book of the Devil.
Those more. Is that Tony Iommi?
No, that's James Simpson,
Oh, right.
Esquire.
Okay.
Looking suitably coy.
At Henry.
It will be, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Okay. He's not counting money, is he? Is that money he's got there?
It more than likely is.
This looks like it's outside, actually.
Probably outside the door. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what about that one? That's on
sorry,
stage,
after
Henry's, isn't it?
yes. That's Brewer's Droop on stage at Henry's. The portly gentleman with the hat is Ron Watts.
And who's Ron Watts?
Ron Watts is the lead singer and frontman with an extremely large front of Brewer's Droop,
Right.
who are known for their alcoholic rock. He also ran the Nag's Head at High Wycombe, which was a very famous rock and blues venue. And he was the president, I believe, of the National Federation of Blues, the British sort of head organisation.
Right. I heard of them some time. I think there's. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and there's some very good blues documentaries.
Yes,
on
there
YouTube.
are,
Yeah.
aren't they? Yes,
Right. So that's a press release.
press release from Big
Yeah.
Bear,
I don't think that looks like Geezer Butler, doesn't it?
Yep. That one, I'm 90% certain, will be at that Warsaw gig. Couldn't absolutely swear to that.
Question mark.
Doesn't look like Henry's, but there's not much to
Yeah,
tell in the
there's not much to
background.
go on there, really, is there? Not to worry though. It's it'll make some Sabbath fans' day.
On eBay.
No, on the forum, just on.
That one, I don't. That's John Hinch of Bakerloo,
Right.
but it's a very, very bad picture.
I don't know. I'm going to take a note that you've got some Tea and Symphony
Yeah.
stuff.
Interestingly, Jim still advertising locomotive.
Oh right. No, I didn't notice that it had that on it. Now, obviously, this, it's weird, isn't it? The way that these things work. Just that name.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm excited by it. All of a sudden, and you can imagine what other people are going to be like as well. So,
It's interesting that the name change to Black Sabbath had already happened,
Yeah.
but he's still got locomotive there, and that's when 1970.
Right. So is this a ticket or a?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Or
yes.
a flyer.
Yeah, it's a ticket.
Ticket. Orange card. When's 27th May? This would have been the Big Bear Folly thing.
Yes, except he's going under the heading of Savage Bear there, presented by Savage Bear.
Yeah. Sabbath. Tea and Symphony locomotive. Oh. Big Bear artists. And let's get the dimensions of that. Pop Prom.
Yes.
11 centimetres by
He probably had his leg
7.5
pulled at the time.
centimetres. 11 cm times 7.5 cm.
God, bear in mind we were dealing with a very uneducated public at this time. We were before our time.
Budgie, yeah. Could you tell the Mayfair suite is something Jimmy Shannon was talking to me about the other day?
Yeah, I put a few things on the Mayfair suite.
Yeah.
That's King Biscuit Boy, who we brought over and worked to death over here. Actually, I don't know whether you've come across Bullion.
Bullion, no, it's not a name I know.
They were very, very hard-working Birmingham band.
Yeah.
Who gigged a lot around it. I don't think they would probably ever have played Henry's. But their drummer Pete Boot joined Budgie for a while. They were quite a well-respected band. You'll come across them in one or two places, I think. Hannibal, of course, were another of Jim's bands. That's I don't know why I've got that. I obviously didn't send it to wherever it was supposed to go to.
Mm.
But at least
so that's the Big Bear logo that was seen,
yeah,
right?
Yes, that's the one before it became the Trucking Bear. He's actually got Baloo in the background. That'll be the one.
Yeah.
At least it proves I work for him.
Heavy Rock Night. So this is a flyer for the Dick's Club, Temple Street, Wolverhampton, featuring Judas Priest on the 12th of April. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Very little. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
a standard answer, but it was booked through our little agency. To guess, I'm trying to see the year, but can't immediately. Brush were the group run by Brush Shields, who had been in was it Taste? Or Thin Lizzy. His band didn't last for very long under that name, so that there should be a way of pinning that down a bit more.
Okay. And that's just on paper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's been stuck in a scrapbook, which is why all the little... This a Black Sabbath ticket from the Mayfair Ballroom in 1973.
Yeah. Now we know that Black Sabbath played on the 16th of October 1970 at a gig that became known as the Head Rock Explosion, because we've got a flyer for it. Do you remember that gig at all? Trapeze, Pendulum were playing. Sabbath came on stage about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Is this at the Mayfair?
At the Mayfair Suite,
That's
yeah.
probably why we were banned from putting concerts on until 1973.
Right.
The Mayfair, when we approached them, by this time I was working with Tony and we were working from Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of persuasion to allow us to put a few concerts on, mainly because they'd had bad experiences in the past.
Yeah.
But that one was quite a success, as I remember. Not quite a sellout, but near enough.
Didn't they play 2 nights on that occasion?
They played. Again, I would have to double check on this.
Yeah.
But what most bands did for us there was play one night here and one night in Blackpool.
Yeah.
At the Winter Gardens in Blackpool. Sabbath may have done that. Sweet, who we put on subsequently, definitely did.
Yeah. It's possible that I've got it wrong, because I think I might, because I know that Zeppelin played at the Mayfair Suite in the early 70s as well.
Not for me.
Yeah.
But promoting wasn't my first love. It was just that Sabbath weren't, because they got an interest in the agency, we were able to get them appearing on a one-off, as far as I remember, a one-off gig for us.
Yeah. So did you deal with Patrick Meehan?
I met those guys.
Yeah.
One of my well, one of my few memories of those days. Met David Hebbings a couple of times. But Patrick Meehan, I remember sitting in the back of a Rolls Royce in Hurst Street.
Yeah.
Outside what was the discovery then, or before it moved around the corner.
Yeah.
And him putting his arm around my shoulders and saying, if you get any hassle around here from these lads, you let me know.
From which lads?
Well, just sort of generally the local promoters and what have you. Possibly a veiled reference.